Take a deep breath with me and let it go. Good. Tonight, we're going somewhere peaceful, somewhere warm, somewhere that exists in that magical space between the everyday world and dreams, a place where time moves like honey, where silence is a gift, and where every cup of tea is brewed with intention and care. Tonight, we're visiting the Moonlit Teahouse. The sun has just set. The sky above is that particular shade of blue-violet that only exists for a few precious minutes, too dark to be day, too light to be night. The first stars are appearing, tentative at first, then bolder, as if gaining confidence from each other's presence. You've been walking for a while now. Not far in distance, but far in feeling. You left the noise of the city behind, the traffic, the hurry, the constant demands of modern life. You followed a path that seemed to know where you needed to go, even when you weren't quite sure yourself. And now, here you are. The Moonlit Teahouse sits at the edge of a small grove of bamboo. You can hear them now, the bamboo stalks swaying in the evening breeze, their leaves rustling with a sound like rain on silk, their hollow stems knocking together with soft, melodic percussion. It's a sound that immediately quiets the mind, that speaks of patience and flexibility and the wisdom of bending rather than breaking. The tea house itself is small and perfect. Built of dark wood that gleams faintly in the twilight, with a gently sloping roof covered in moss and what might be tiny white flowers, or might be moonlight itself, captured and growing. Paper lanterns hang from the eaves, not yet lit but ready, waiting for full darkness. Smoke rises from a stone chimney, thin, fragrant smoke that carries the scent of burning herbs. Not harsh, but sweet and cleansing. Cedar, perhaps. Sage. Something else you can't quite name, but that makes you breathe deeper, that makes your shoulders drop without you consciously releasing them. Your footsteps slow as you approach. There's a small wooden bridge you must cross. It arches over a stream so clear you can see smooth stones on its bottom, even in the fading light. The water moves with barely a sound, just the gentlest whisper of current over rock. At the end of the bridge, a path of stepping stones leads to the tea house door. You follow it. Each stone is placed at exactly the right distance for a slow, mindful step. Whoever made this path understood that arriving at the Moonlit Teahouse should be a gradual transition, a gentle shift from the world outside to the sanctuary within. The door is wooden, weathered smooth by time and touch. Above it, carved into the lintel, is a symbol, a moon surrounded by swirling clouds, and beneath the moon, a simple cup, steam rising from its surface. You reach for the handle, old bronze, warm despite the cool evening air, and the door opens before you can pull. No, not opens. It swings inward slowly, as if moved by breath rather than hinges, as if the tea house itself is inviting you in. The outside world, the bamboo, the stream, the crickets, fades to a whisper. And in its place, warmth, presence, the particular hush of a space that knows how to hold people gently. You step inside. The first thing you notice is the warmth. Not hot, not overwhelming, just perfect. The kind of warmth that seeps into cold fingers and tired muscles, that makes you realize you've been slightly chilled without knowing it. The kind of warmth that comes from a wood fire burning somewhere nearby, from steam rising from kettles, from herbs drying in bundles, from care and attention accumulated over years. The second thing you notice is the light. Soft, golden, coming from candles placed thoughtfully throughout the space. Not harsh electric light, but gentle flame light that flickers and breathes, that creates shadows that are companions rather than threats. The kind of light that makes faces softer, that makes the world seem kinder. The door closes behind you with barely a sound, just a soft click, like a secret being kept, like a promise of safety. The tea house is a single room, but it feels vast. The ceiling is higher than you expected, crossed with dark wooden beams from which bundles of herbs hang upside down, dozens of them, maybe hundreds. You can see lavender and rosemary, chamomile with its tiny white flowers, something with purple blooms, something with silver-green leaves. They sway very slightly in the rising heat, releasing their scents in gentle waves. The floor is wooden, polished smooth by countless feet, covered here and there with woven mats in shades of cream and soft blue and dusty rose. The kind of mats that invite you to sit, to stay, to settle into the space. Along one wall, floor-to-ceiling shelves hold an impossible collection of jars and bottles and containers. Each one is labeled in careful script, but you're too far away to read the words. You can see colors, though, dried flowers in every hue, ground powders ranging from pale cream to deep burgundy, whole spices and seeds and roots. The herbalist's pharmacy. The tea maker's arsenal. And there, at the back of the room, is the counter. Low, wide, made of a single piece of dark wood so beautiful it almost seems alive. Behind it, tending to something you can't quite see, is the herbalist. They don't look up immediately. They're focused on their work, measuring, mixing, pouring. Their movements are slow and deliberate, not from age exactly, though they are older, but from the kind of precision that comes from doing something so many times it becomes meditation, becomes prayer, becomes art. Silver hair pulled back simply. Hands that move with absolute certainty. A robe the color of twilight, that same blue-violet as the sky outside, tied with a cord that might be woven from moonlight itself. Finally, they look up. Their face is weathered but kind, lined with years but not hardened by them. Their eyes are dark and warm, like the tea they brew, and they see you, really see you, not just that you're there but who you are, what you're carrying, what you need. They don't speak. They don't need to. Instead, they simply gesture, a small movement of one hand, palm up, fingers extended, to the seating area. Choose anywhere. Sit. Rest. You're welcome here. You nod your thanks and turn to look at the seating options. The tea house has thought of everyone, has made space for every kind of rest. Low cushions on the floor, arranged around small tables that sit just inches off the ground. Perfect for those who want to fold themselves down, to get close to the earth, to feel held by the floor itself. Slightly higher, backless stools at a counter that runs along one wall, facing windows that look out onto the bamboo grove. For those who want to perch, to observe, to watch the night deepen while they sip. And there, in the corner, what catches your attention most? A window seat. Wide and deep, piled with cushions in muted colors, with a small hinged table that can swing out for a cup or fold away to create more space for curling up. The window is large, its glass old and slightly wavy, and through it you can see the moon rising, full and luminous, silver white, impossibly bright. You know immediately this is where you need to be. You make your way to the window seat and settle in. The sound of cushions accepting your weight, that soft whoosh of air being gently displaced. The rustle of fabric. The creak of old wood adjusting. The cushions are perfect. Soft but supportive. The kind that seem to mold to your shape, to remember your contours. You lean back against the wall, and oh, there's another cushion there, positioned exactly where your lower back needs support. Of course there is. This tea house understands bodies, understands what people need to truly rest. You fold your legs beneath you, or stretch them out, whatever feels right, and for the first time in hours, maybe days, maybe longer, your body fully, completely relaxes. Through the window, the moon continues its slow ascent. Already it's noticeably higher than when you arrived, its light spilling across the bamboo grove, turning everything silver and shadow. The bamboo sways in the breeze, and their shadows dance across the ground, creating patterns that shift and flow like water. Behind you, you hear sounds. Soft sounds. Intentional sounds. The gentle clink of ceramic on ceramic. The whisper of liquid being poured. The rustle of dried herbs being measured. The soft strike of a match, followed by the faint pop as flame catches a wick. The herbalist is preparing tea. Not your tea. You haven't ordered anything, haven't spoken a word. But they're preparing tea nonetheless. Because this is what happens at the Moonlit Teahouse. The herbalist looks at you, sees you, understands what you need, and makes it. You don't have to ask. You don't have to know what you need. They know. You hear the sound of water beginning to heat, a kettle over flame, starting its slow journey from cool to warm to hot to boiling. First, silence. Then, the barest whisper. Then, a murmur. Building slowly, patiently, taking its time. You let your head rest against the cushion behind you. Let your eyes trace the moon's path across the darkening sky. Other people are here. You notice them now, though you hadn't before. 3, maybe 4 others, scattered throughout the tea house, each in their own space, each wrapped in their own silence. No one is talking. No one is looking at phones or reading or doing anything active. They're all just being, sitting, breathing, existing in the warm, herb-scented space, allowing themselves to simply be held by the tea house's gentle presence. And you realize, this is what the Moonlit Tea House offers. Not conversation. Not entertainment. Not distraction. Just space. Permission. The radical gift of being allowed to stop, to rest, to exist without purpose or productivity or performance. Your eyes grow heavy, but not with exhaustion. With peace. With the particular relaxation that comes from feeling completely safe, completely accepted, completely free to be exactly as you are. Behind you, the water reaches its boil. The sound peaks, that vigorous bubbling, then immediately quiets as the kettle is removed from the flame. Pouring. The sound of hot water meeting herbs, releasing their essence, beginning the alchemy that transforms leaves and flowers and roots into medicine, into comfort, into liquid peace. Steam rises. You can't see it, but you can feel it, the humidity increasing slightly, carrying with it new scents. Floral. Sweet. Earthy. Complicated and layered, like a perfume composed by nature itself. The herbalist is making your tea. And soon, very soon, they will bring it to you. And you will drink it. And it will be exactly what you needed, even though you didn't know what that was. The music swells very gently, wrapping around you like the warmth of the tea house, like comfort made audible, like the feeling of being cared for without having to ask. But for now, for this moment, you simply sit. You breathe. You watch the moon rise higher. You let the tea house hold you. And you wait, with all the patience in the world, for what comes next. You hear the herbalist approaching, though you don't turn to look. There's no need. You trust this place, trust this person, trust that whatever is being brought to you has been made with care and attention and some kind of wisdom you don't need to understand, only receive. The softest sound of ceramic being placed on wood. The small table has been swung out from the wall without you noticing, and now, on its surface, sits a cup. Not a mug. Not a mass-produced vessel. A cup. Handmade, you can tell immediately. The glaze is uneven in the most beautiful way, deep blue at the rim, fading to cream at the base, with streaks of gold running through like veins of precious metal. The kind of cup that has weight and substance, that fits perfectly in two hands, that was made by someone who understands that the vessel matters almost as much as what it holds. Steam rises from the cup in gentle spirals, catching the moonlight, turning silver, dancing in the air like tiny spirits released from captivity. The herbalist's hand appears in your peripheral vision, weathered, steady, fingers long and capable, placing something else beside the cup. A small plate. On it, a single piece of something. You're not sure. A sweet? A pastry? It's pale and delicate, dusted with what looks like powdered sugar or perhaps crushed petals. Then, the herbalist's voice. The first words you've heard since entering this place. Moon tea, they say. Their voice is soft, neither masculine nor feminine but something beyond gender, something that simply is. It's textured like aged wood, warm like honey, and it carries the kind of gentleness that makes you want to listen more carefully, to lean in, to receive. For peace. For rest. For remembering how to let go. You look up, meeting their eyes. They're smiling, just slightly, not a big expression, just a small curve at the corners of the mouth, a crinkling around the eyes. The smile of someone who has seen many souls arrive at their door, who knows the particular weight each person carries, who never judges, only offers what they can. The sweet is made from honey and starflowers. They continue. Eat it after the tea, or not at all. Your choice. There's no wrong way to be here. They bow, just a small incline of the head, a gesture of respect, of recognition, and then they turn and move away, their footsteps fading back toward the counter, back to their work of preparing comfort for others. You're alone again. Alone with your cup, your sweet, your window, your moon. You shift slightly on the cushions, adjusting, settling even deeper. Then you reach for the cup with both hands, the traditional way, the respectful way, the way that honors the tea and the maker and the moment itself. The cup is warm. Not hot enough to burn, but warm enough to be felt through your palms, spreading up through your wrists, into your arms. Warmth with intention. Warmth that carries something beyond mere temperature. You bring the cup closer to your face, close your eyes, and inhale. The scent is extraordinary. Jasmine, definitely jasmine, sweet and floral and complex. But underneath that, other things. Chamomile, gentle and soothing. Something citrus, lemon balm, perhaps, or melissa, bright and clean. A hint of mint, cooling and clarifying. And beneath it all, something you can't quite identify. Something that smells silver, if silver had a smell. Something that smells like moonlight, like clear night air, like the space between stars. The steam continues to rise, and you breathe it in, letting it fill your lungs, letting it carry its medicine into your body through breath alone. Already, before you've even tasted it, the tea is working. Already your mind is quieting, your thoughts slowing, your body releasing tension you didn't know you were holding. You open your eyes and look at the tea itself. The color is pale gold, almost luminous in the candlelight. Tiny particles float in it, flower petals, you think, or perhaps small leaves. They drift slowly, caught in invisible currents, creating patterns that shift and change. Looking at it is almost hypnotic. You could watch this tea for hours and not grow bored. But it's meant to be drunk, not just observed. You lift the cup to your lips. The rim is smooth, perfectly shaped. Whoever made this cup understood mouths, understood how ceramic should meet skin. You sip. The taste is nothing like you expected and exactly what you needed. It starts floral, that jasmine coming through first, sweet and almost intoxicating. Then the chamomile rounds it out, adding depth, adding earthiness. The citrus brightens it, keeps it from being too heavy. The mint adds coolness without overwhelming. And underneath it all, that mysterious element, that moon essence, that thing without a name that tastes like peace itself, like surrender, like the moment when you finally stop fighting and allow yourself to simply be. The tea travels down your throat, spreading warmth through your chest, into your belly, radiating outward. You can feel it moving through you, feel it reaching places that have been cold or tight or forgotten. It doesn't force anything. It simply invites. Invites your shoulders to drop. Invites your jaw to unclench. Invites your breath to deepen. Invites your mind to release its grip on worry, on planning, on the endless loop of thoughts that usually occupies every waking moment. You take another sip. And another. Each one is the same and different. The tea changes as it cools slightly, new flavors emerging, the balance shifting. It's alive, this tea. Not in a magical fairy tale way, but in the way that all natural things are alive, complex, evolving, responsive to time and temperature and attention. Around you, the tea house breathes. The candles flicker. The herbs sway slightly in their bundles. The other patrons sit in their own silences, drinking their own teas, lost in their own experiences of peace. You're halfway through the cup when you notice something. Your mind has stopped. Not in a frightening way. Not in a blank or empty way. But the constant chatter, the voice that narrates everything, that plans and worries and judges and compares, it's gone quiet. Like it finally got tired and decided to rest. In its place, awareness. Simple, clean awareness of this moment. The weight of the cup in your hands. The warmth spreading through your body. The sound of your own breathing, slow, steady, deep. The sight of moonlight through the window, painting everything silver. The scent of herbs hanging in the air. The taste of tea on your tongue. Nothing else. Just this. Just now. Just being. How long has it been since your mind was this quiet? Weeks? Months? Years? You can't remember. Maybe never. Maybe this is the first time in your adult life you've experienced this particular quality of silence. You take another sip, savoring it even more now that you're fully present to taste it. The tea is cooler now, but no less delicious. If anything, the cooling has allowed certain flavors to emerge that were hidden before, a slight sweetness, almost like honey, though you know no sweetener was added. Just the natural sugars from the flowers, released by the hot water, offering themselves freely. You look out the window at the bamboo grove. The moon is higher now, and its light makes everything look ethereal, otherworldly. The bamboo stalks glow silver white. Their shadows are sharp and dark, creating patterns of light and dark that shift with each breeze. It's like watching a living painting, constantly creating and recreating itself. A sound makes you glance toward the door. It opens, that same gentle, almost weightless opening. Wind chimes sing. Cool night air drifts in for just a moment before the door closes again. A new patron has arrived. An elderly woman, small and slight, wrapped in a shawl the color of deep plum. She moves slowly, carefully, using a walking stick, not because she needs it for balance exactly, but because walking itself has become a meditation for her, each step taken with full attention. The herbalist looks up from their work at the counter and smiles, a bigger smile this time, a smile of recognition. They know this woman. She's been here before. Many times before, probably. The woman nods to the herbalist but doesn't speak. She makes her way to a cushion on the floor, one near the small wood stove that radiates heat. She lowers herself down with practiced ease, arranging her shawl around her shoulders, settling in like a bird coming to nest. The herbalist is already preparing her tea. No questions asked. No words needed. They know what she requires, what will soothe her bones and ease her mind. You watch this small interaction, touched by it. By the care. By the familiarity. By the way the herbalist tends each person who comes through their door, offering not just tea but attention, recognition, the gift of being known. You wonder how long the herbalist has been doing this. Years? Decades? It feels ancient, this practice. Like it's been happening forever and will continue happening long after you're gone. There's comfort in that, in being part of something timeless, even if only for an evening. You return your attention to your own tea, lifting the cup for another sip. You're nearing the bottom now. Just a few more mouthfuls left. Part of you wants to make it last forever, to stretch this cup across the entire night. But another part of you knows, there will be more tea if you want it. The herbalist will make you another cup, and another, as many as you need. There's no scarcity here. Only abundance, offered freely. As you drink, you become aware of other sounds you hadn't noticed before. The crackle of the wood stove, logs shifting as they burn, releasing their heat and light. The very faint whistle of the kettle, not boiling now, just sitting on the edge of the heat, keeping water perpetually ready. The rustle of the herbalist's robe as they move behind the counter, measuring out ingredients for the elderly woman's tea. The settling sounds of the building itself, wood expanding and contracting with temperature changes, the tea house breathing in its own slow rhythm. And from outside, wind moving through bamboo, water flowing over stones in the stream. An owl calling in the distance, 3 low hoots, then silence. The night conducting its gentle symphony. You drain the last of your tea, tilting the cup to catch every drop, not wanting to waste even the smallest amount of this gift. The cup is empty now. But you don't feel empty. You feel full. Filled with warmth, with peace, with a particular satisfaction that comes from being nourished in body and spirit simultaneously. You set the cup down gently on its small table and look at the sweet that's been waiting patiently beside it. The sweet is small, perhaps 2 inches across, round, delicate as a snowflake. It's pale cream in color, dusted with what you can now see is indeed powdered petals, tiny fragments of flowers in white and pale purple, pressed into the sweet surface like edible confetti. You pick it up carefully. It's lighter than you expected, almost weightless. You bring it to your nose and smell. Honey, yes, rich and golden. And flowers, the same flowers, perhaps, that were in the tea. Jasmine. Something else. Something that smells like moonlight, like gardens at night, like sweetness without heaviness. You take a small bite. The texture is remarkable. It dissolves almost immediately on your tongue, melting rather than needing to be chewed. The flavor blooms in your mouth. Honey first, floral and complex, the kind of honey that comes from bees who visited 1,000 different flowers. Then the starflowers. You don't know what starflowers taste like, have never heard of them before tonight, but somehow you know that's what you're tasting. They're subtle, almost effervescent, with a gentle brightness that makes you think of, well, stars. Of distant light. Of beauty that exists whether anyone is watching or not. The sweet doesn't overwhelm. It doesn't demand attention. It simply offers itself, and in accepting it, you complete the ritual. Tea for the body. Sweet for the soul. Both given freely. Both received with gratitude. You finish the sweet in 3 small bites, taking your time, honoring it. When it's gone, you lick your fingers unself-consciously, a child's gesture, pure and unashamed. The herbalist would approve, you think. They understand that pleasure is not something to be embarrassed about, but something to be savored fully. You settle back into your cushions, feeling even more relaxed now, even more held by this space. The elderly woman near the wood stove has received her tea. You hear the herbalist delivering it, hear the soft murmur of their voice, too low to make out words, but the tone is caring, warm. The woman responds, equally soft. A brief exchange, then the herbalist returns to their counter. The woman lifts her cup to her lips and drinks. You see her shoulders drop, see her eyes close in appreciation. She knows this tea. It's an old friend to her. And it's welcoming her home, just as it does every time she visits. You think about what it would be like to be a regular here. To have your own tea, made the same way every time, or perhaps adjusted slightly based on what the herbalist sees in you that day. To walk through that door and be known, be recognized, be cared for without having to ask. Maybe you will become a regular. Maybe this is the first visit of many. Maybe you'll return again and again, and eventually the herbalist will smile that smile of recognition at you, will start preparing your tea before you even settle into your spot, will know what you need before you know it yourself. The thought fills you with warmth, a different warmth than the tea, but just as real. The warmth of belonging, of being part of something, of having a place to return to when the world becomes too much. Outside, the moon continues its slow arc across the sky. It's fully risen now, high and bright, its light flooding through the window, painting your hands silver, turning the steam from the tea house's kettles into visible ribbons of light. Time has become strange here. Elastic. Unreliable. Have you been here for 30 minutes? An hour? 3 hours? You genuinely don't know. Your phone is in your pocket. You could check, but the impulse to do so doesn't even arise. What would be the point? What does clock time matter here, in this place outside of normal time, in this sanctuary where the only measure that counts is, are you at peace? Have you rested? Has the tea done its work? You watch the herbalist work. They've moved from behind the counter now, are tending to the herbs hanging from the ceiling. They reach up with practiced ease, despite their age, touching bundles gently, checking dryness, rotating some to ensure even air circulation. It's clear they do this every evening, that this tending is as much a part of their ritual as brewing tea. Their movements are so graceful, so economical. No wasted motion, no hurry. Everything done at exactly the right pace, not slow, not fast, just right. The pace of someone who's learned that rushing doesn't get you there faster, it just gets you there more frazzled. You wonder about the herbalist's life. Do they live here, above the tea house perhaps? Do they have a home elsewhere, a family, friends? Or is this tea house their whole world, their purpose, their calling? Do they ever feel lonely, or is the constant stream of visitors, quiet though they are, enough companionship? But maybe those are the wrong questions. Maybe the herbalist doesn't think in terms of lonely or not lonely. Maybe they found something beyond that dichotomy, a state of being where solitude and connection coexist peacefully, where tending others and tending themselves are the same act. A sound from outside, distant thunder, or perhaps just the wind picking up, moving through the bamboo grove with more force. The stalks clack together, a sharper sound than before, like wooden wind chimes. The temperature in the tea house hasn't changed, but you pull one of the cushions closer, wrapping your arms around it, making yourself smaller and cozier in your window seat. Through the window, you see clouds moving across the moon. Not covering it, just passing by, their edges silvered by moonlight, their shapes constantly shifting. One looks like a bird, one like a flower, one like a face, wise and ancient, watching over the world below. The herbalist has finished with the herbs and is now doing something at the counter, grinding something with a mortar and pestle, the rhythmic sound soothing, meditative. Scrape, turn, scrape, turn. A sound that humans have been making for thousands of years, preparing medicine, preparing food, preparing care. Another patron rises from their seat. You hadn't noticed this one before, a young person who's been sitting in a corner, so still they seemed part of the furniture. They stretch gently, bow to the herbalist, and move toward the door. The herbalist nods back, accepting the thanks that doesn't need words. The door opens. The wind chimes sing their farewell. The patron steps out into the night, and the door closes behind them. The tea house adjusts to their absence, the space shifting subtly, filling in where they were, maintaining its atmosphere of peace. You wonder if you should leave too. If there's some unspoken time limit, some point at which you've overstayed your welcome. But no. You can feel it. You're welcome to stay as long as you need. The Moonlit Teahouse doesn't have closing hours. Or if it does, they're flexible, determined by what its visitors require rather than by arbitrary clock time. You settle deeper into your cushions, your body making the decision your mind was pondering. Not yet. You're not ready to leave yet. There's more rest to be had here. More peace to absorb. More moon to watch. More silence to steep in. And the tea house, in its wordless way, agrees. Stay. Rest. Be here. There's no rush. There never is, in places like this. The music swells very gently, wrapping around you like a soft blanket, like moonlight made audible, like the feeling of being completely, perfectly held. The soft music continues, now joined by a new element, the gentle sound of water being poured, steady and rhythmic, like a meditation bell made of liquid. You've been watching the moon for a while now, lost in its slow journey across the sky, when you hear footsteps approaching again. The herbalist. You turn your head slightly, and there they are, standing beside your window seat with a small tray. On it, another cup of tea, steaming gently. But this one is different. Even before you see it fully, you can tell. The scent is different. The color of the steam, if steam can have color, seems different. The herbalist sets the tray down on your small table, beside the empty cup from before, which they collect with one smooth gesture. They hold the empty cup for a moment, as if reading something from it, the pattern of leaves left at the bottom, or perhaps just the fact that you drank it all, that you received what was offered. Second cup, the herbalist says, their voice still soft, still unhurried. Different from the first. The first was for arriving, for releasing the day. This one is for deepening, for going further in. You look at the new cup. It's different from the first. This one is dark green, almost black, with a texture like stone, like something carved from jade. The tea inside is clearer than the first, pale amber, almost translucent. The steam rising from it moves differently too, not in chaotic swirls but in organized patterns, like smoke from incense, like prayers ascending. This one you drink more slowly, the herbalist continues. Between sips, watch the steam. It has things to show you, if you're willing to see. They bow again, that same small acknowledgement, and turn to leave. But they pause, glancing back at you. You're carrying something, they say. Not a question. An observation. Something that happened today, or yesterday, or perhaps years ago. Something that made your shoulders tight, your breath shallow. The first tea loosened it. This tea will help you release it, if you choose to. Or you can simply enjoy the taste. Either way, you'll leave here lighter than you arrived. Then they're gone, back to their counter, their work, their patient tending of all who enter this space. You look down at the cup in front of you. The steam continues its rising dance, patterns forming and dissolving, hypnotic and beautiful. You reach for the cup with both hands again, but this time you don't lift it immediately. Instead, you hold it at chest level, feeling its warmth, watching the steam rise between your face and the cup, creating a veil, a screen, a threshold between you and something else. The herbalist was right. You are carrying something. You didn't realize it consciously, but now that they've named it, you feel it. A tightness in your chest. A weight across your shoulders. Something you picked up somewhere, at work, at home, in a conversation, in a moment of worry or fear or disappointment, and carried here without meaning to. The steam rises. You watch it. Really watch it, giving it your full attention. At first, it's just steam. Water vapor catching light, rising on currents of warm air. Ordinary. Physical. Explicable by science. But as you watch, really watch, without judgment or expectation, you begin to see, not shapes, exactly. Not literal images. But something. Patterns. Suggestions. The way clouds sometimes look like things without actually being things. The steam swirls and you see, or imagine you see, or remember, or feel, a moment from earlier today. A conversation that didn't go well. Words said that you wish you could take back, or words unsaid that you wish you'd had the courage to voice. The steam holds it, shows it to you, not to judge but simply to acknowledge, yes, that happened. You felt that. It's real. You breathe in the steam, and it carries a scent with it. This tea smells different from the first. Cleaner. Sharper. There's mint, definitely, but not sweet mint. Something more medicinal, more clarifying. And something that smells green, like fresh-cut grass, like new growth, like the smell of spring after long winter. You lift the cup to your lips and sip. The taste is bright, clear. It cuts through the residual sweetness of the first tea, cleanses your palate, makes everything feel new. There's ginger, you think, just a hint, warming but not burning. Lemongrass, maybe, that clean citrus sharpness. And something else. Something that tastes the way clarity feels. The way understanding tastes. The way letting go might taste, if letting go had a flavor. You swallow, and the tea travels down, finding that tight place in your chest, that weight across your shoulders, and it loosens it. Just slightly. Just enough to notice. You set the cup down and watch the steam again. This time, you see, or feel, or remember, another moment. An older one. Something from weeks ago, maybe months. A small disappointment that you thought you'd forgotten, but no, it's been there, lodged somewhere in your body, taking up space, using energy to maintain. The steam shows it to you gently, without force. Like a friend saying, I see you're still holding this. Do you want to keep holding it? Or would you like to set it down? You realize, you don't have to keep holding it. You've been carrying it because, why? Because you forgot it was there? Because you thought you were supposed to? Because letting go felt like giving up, like not caring, like betraying yourself somehow? But no. Letting go isn't any of those things. Letting go is just opening your hands, unclenching your grip, allowing the thing to be what it was, something that happened, something that hurt, something that's over now, without making it into something that defines your present, your future, your worth. You pick up the cup again and drink. Another sip. Longer this time. Letting the tea sit on your tongue before swallowing, really tasting it, really receiving it. As the warmth spreads through your chest, you feel that tightness loosen more. The weight on your shoulders grows lighter. Not gone. Transformation doesn't work that quickly, completely. But lessened. Manageable. Like someone came along and helped you carry it, or like you suddenly remembered you're stronger than you thought. You breathe out, long and slow, and with that breath, something releases. Some small piece of what you've been carrying. It leaves with your exhale, dissipates into the air of the tea house, is absorbed by the herbs and the wood and the space itself, transformed into something neutral, something that can be composted and returned to the world as something new. You look around the tea house, seeing it with fresh eyes now. The elderly woman is still sitting by the wood stove, but she's not drinking anymore. Her cup rests empty beside her. Her eyes are closed, her hands folded in her lap, her breathing deep and regular. Not asleep, exactly, but in that state between waking and sleeping, that liminal space where healing happens, where the body does its deepest repair work. The herbalist notices you looking and catches your eye. They smile and bring one finger to their lips, not shushing you, but acknowledging, yes, she's resting. Let her rest. This is what this place is for. You nod your understanding and return your attention to your tea, to your steam, to your own process of release and renewal. Another sip. The tea is cooler now, but no less effective. If anything, the cooling has made it gentler, more approachable, less medicinal and more friend-like. The steam shows you more things. Small ones. Large ones. Things you didn't know you were holding. A comment someone made years ago that lodged in your psyche like a splinter. A moment of embarrassment you've replayed 1,000 times. A fear about the future, vague and shapeless but heavy nonetheless. An old grief you thought was finished but apparently still has a little more releasing to do. The steam doesn't judge any of it. Doesn't tell you you're wrong for carrying these things or weak for not being over them already. It simply shows them to you, acknowledges them, gives you permission to see them clearly and then, if you choose, to let them go. With each sip of tea, with each exhalation, you feel lighter. Not in a dramatic way. You're not suddenly enlightened or completely healed. The herbalist was right. You have a choice. The tea offers the possibility of release, but you have to choose to accept it, to open your hands, to let these things fall away. And slowly, sip by sip, breath by breath, you do choose. Over and over. Small releases. Small letting goes. Each one barely noticeable on its own, but accumulating, compounding, creating space where there was crowding, lightness where there was density. Outside the window, a cloud passes in front of the moon, dimming its light temporarily. The bamboo grove goes from silver to shadow. But it's not frightening. Even in shadow, it's beautiful. Maybe especially in shadow, you can see the depth now, the layers, the way darkness is not absence but presence, a different kind of information, a different way of seeing. The cloud passes. The moonlight returns, and the bamboo grove emerges from shadow like something being born, like something remembering itself, like light saying, I was always here, you just couldn't see me for a moment. You think about your own life, your own struggles, your own dark moments. How they're like that cloud, temporary obscurations, not permanent erasures. How the light always returns, even when you can't see it, even when you can't imagine how it possibly could. It returns because that's what light does. That's its nature. You finish the second cup, drinking the last of it, tipping the cup to catch every drop, grateful for what it's given you, grateful for what you've been able to release. The cup is empty now, and you feel different. Not completely transformed. That would be too much to ask from a single cup of tea, no matter how magical the tea house. But definitely different. Your chest feels more open. Your shoulders feel lower. Your breath comes easier. The thoughts in your mind are quieter, less frantic, less stuck in loops of worry and regret. You set the empty cup down and look at your hands. They're relaxed, open, resting on your knees. When did you unclench your fists? You didn't even notice doing it. But there it is, another small release, another small letting go. The door opens again. More wind chimes. More cool night air briefly entering before the door closes. 2 people enter this time, a couple, young, holding hands. They look tired, but not in a bad way. More like they've been on a journey and have finally arrived somewhere they can rest. They nod to the herbalist, who nods back, already reaching for jars, already beginning to prepare what they need. The couple doesn't speak to each other. They don't need to. They move in the comfortable synchronization of people who know each other deeply, who can communicate with glances and small gestures. They choose cushions on the floor, sitting close but not touching, giving each other space while remaining connected. You watch them with fondness, with recognition. You understand that feeling, of needing to be both alone and together, of needing someone near you but not needing them to fix you or save you or even talk to you. Just near. Witnessing. Present. The herbalist brings them their tea, 2 cups on a tray, different colors, different steams rising. Each person's tea made specifically for them, for what they need, for where they are right now in their journey. The couple receives their tea with quiet gratitude. They bow their heads slightly, to the herbalist, to the tea, to the moment itself. Then they lift their cups and drink, and you see the same thing happen to them that happened to you, that subtle softening, that gentle release, that opening that comes from being truly nourished. You realize something. Everyone who comes to the Moonlit Teahouse is carrying something. Everyone. That's why they come. Not for the tea itself, though the tea is exquisite. Not for the atmosphere, though the atmosphere is perfect. But for this, for the permission to set down what they're carrying. For the space to release. For the gentle alchemy that happens when herbs and hot water and intention combine to create not just a beverage but a medicine, a ritual, a transformation. The herbalist returns to their counter, but instead of beginning a new preparation, they pause. They reach for a small bell, bronze, ancient-looking, and ring it once. Just once. A single clear note that hangs in the air for a long moment before fading. It's not a loud sound. Not demanding. But everyone in the tea house responds to it anyway. Heads turn. Attention focuses. The space itself seems to gather inward, to concentrate. The herbalist speaks, their voice carrying easily through the quiet space. The moon is at its height, they say. This is the moment of fullness, of completion. If you have releases left to make, now is the time. If you have gratitudes to offer, now is the time. Speak them aloud or hold them in your heart, both are heard. Silence. Deep silence. The kind that has weight and texture. The kind that invites truth. Then, softly, from the elderly woman by the stove, I release my fear of being forgotten. Her voice is thin but clear. Not ashamed. Not apologetic. Just stating a fact, naming a burden, setting it down. There's a pause. Then the young person from the couple speaks. I release my need to control outcomes. Their partner adds, quieter, I release my guilt for resting. The words hang in the air like the steam from the teacups, visible somehow, present, acknowledged by the space itself. You feel the invitation. You don't have to speak. The herbalist said that. But you can if you want to. If there's something that needs voice, that needs to be heard not just in your mind but out loud, confirmed by air and sound and witnesses. You take a breath. You consider. What are you releasing? What have the 2 cups of tea helped you see that you're ready to name and let go? And then, surprising yourself, you speak. Your voice is soft but steady. I release the belief that I have to earn rest. That peace has to be deserved. The words leave your mouth and enter the world, and in speaking them, you feel them become more true, more real, more complete. The release that started with the tea, that deepened with the steam, now finishes with voice, with naming, with claiming your right to let go. Another silence. This one feels different, lighter, cleaner, like the air after a storm has passed through, when everything is washed clean and the sky is clear and the world feels new. The herbalist rings the bell again. One clear note. It is done, they say. What has been named has been released. The moon bears witness. The night bears witness. You bear witness to each other and to yourselves. Go forward lighter. Go forward free. They bow deeply, not just a nod this time, but a full bow, honoring everyone in the space, honoring what just happened, honoring the courage it takes to name what we carry and choose to set it down. Slowly, people return to their tea, to their contemplation, to their rest. But something has shifted. The tea house feels different now. Still peaceful, still safe, but also sacred. Like something holy just happened. Something simple and profound and quietly miraculous. You look down at your empty cups, both of them now sitting on your small table. The first one, blue and gold, that welcomed you in. The second one, dark as jade, that helped you release. Both have served their purpose. Both have given their gifts. You wonder if there will be a third cup. Part of you wants there to be, wants to continue this journey, this night, this experience of being tended and held and gently transformed. But another part of you knows, you've received what you came for. The rest is integration. Taking what you've learned, what you've released, what you've remembered about your own worthiness of rest and peace, and carrying it back out into the world. You shift in your window seat, preparing to rise, and the herbalist, as if they have a sixth sense for these things, approaches with something in their hands. Before you go, they say, offering what they're holding. It's a small cloth bag, drawstring top, the fabric rough and natural like unbleached linen. Tea for home. Not the same as what you drank here, that tea only works in this space, under this moon. But something similar. For the nights when you need to remember what you felt here. For the times when you need to practice releasing, even in your own kitchen, your own ordinary life. You take the bag with both hands, feeling its weight, feeling the herbs inside shifting and settling. It smells wonderful even through the fabric, that same combination of jasmine and chamomile, mint and something mysterious, something moon-touched. How much do I owe you? You ask, reaching for your pocket. The herbalist shakes their head, smiling that gentle smile. What you owe me is this. When you're back in your life, when the world is loud and demanding again, remember that peace is possible. Remember that rest is your birthright, not something you earn. Remember that release is always available. And when you forget, because you will forget, we all do, remember that the Moonlit Teahouse is here. The door is always open. There's always a cup waiting. They bow. You bow back, deeper this time, wanting them to know how much this has meant, how much you've received, how grateful you are. Thank you, you say, and the words carry everything you can't quite articulate, all the peace and release and gentle transformation, all the moments of seeing yourself clearly in the steam, all the courage it took to name what you were carrying and choose to let it go. You're welcome, the herbalist replies. Come back when you need us. We'll be here. The soft music continues, now with a subtle shift, becoming even more spacious, more open, like the sound of night itself, of air moving through vast distances, of silence that holds everything. You stand slowly from your window seat, feeling your body unfold, feeling how different it is now from when you arrived. Looser, softer, like tension has been replaced with something more fluid, more graceful, more allowing. The cloth bag of tea hangs from your hand, its weight a gentle reminder, a talisman to carry back into the ordinary world. But you're not quite ready to leave. Not yet. There's something about this moment, this threshold between being here and returning to there, that feels important. Worth lingering in. Worth experiencing fully. You turn away from your window seat and find yourself drawn not toward the door, but deeper into the tea house. Toward a corner you haven't explored yet, where shadows are softer and the candlelight seems to pool like liquid gold. There's a small alcove there, almost hidden. You hadn't noticed it before, but now it seems to call to you, to invite you, to suggest that your time here isn't quite finished. The herbalist, returning to their counter with your empty cups, notices your movement and nods approvingly. Yes, go there. See what's there. Some things can only be discovered by those who aren't in a hurry to leave. The alcove is small, intimate. Just large enough for one person to stand or sit comfortably. The walls here are different from the rest of the tea house. Instead of plain wood, they're covered with something. You step closer to see. Paper. Hundreds of small pieces of paper, each one handwritten, each one pinned or pasted to the wall with care. They overlap like scales on a fish, like feathers on a bird, creating a collage of words and wishes and whispered thoughts. You lean in, reading. I release my anger at what I cannot change. May it transform into acceptance. Thank you for this space, for this tea, for this peace. I came here broken. I leave here softer. Tonight I remembered how to breathe. For my mother, who taught me that rest is not weakness. I forgive myself for not being perfect. The messages go on, each one a small prayer, a small release, a small piece of someone's heart left here intentionally, offered to the tea house, to the other visitors, to anyone who might need to know they're not alone in their struggles, their releases, their journey toward peace. Some are dated. You see entries from years ago, from decades ago, the paper yellowed and fragile. Others are recent, the ink still dark, the paper still crisp. All of them are honored equally. All of them matter. In the corner of the alcove, on a small shelf, sits a box. Plain wood, lid open, inviting. Inside, blank paper cut to the same size as the messages on the wall. And beside it, pens, pencils, brushes, ink. An invitation. An offering. You understand immediately what this is. A place to leave something behind. Not just to release it internally, as you did with the tea and the steam and the naming, but to externalize it. To make it physical. To transform the invisible burden into visible words, and then to give those words to this place, to let them become part of the collective offering, part of the ongoing conversation between all the souls who have found their way to the Moonlit Teahouse. Your hand reaches for a piece of paper without conscious decision. Your fingers select a pen, one with black ink, simple, honest. You sit on the small cushion placed in the alcove for this purpose, the paper resting on your knee, the pen hovering above it. What do you want to leave here? What do you want to mark as released, as transformed, as carried by this place so you don't have to carry it alone anymore? The words come without effort. I came here tight and heavy. The tea showed me what I was holding. The steam showed me I could let it go. The speaking made it real. Now I leave these words as proof. I was here. I was witnessed. I released what no longer served me. And I'm grateful, so grateful, for a world that still holds spaces like this, where we can remember what it means to be human, to be gentle, to be at peace. You sign it with just your first name and today's date. Nothing more is needed. You stand, holding your paper, looking at the wall, deciding where to place it. There, a small gap between two older messages, as if the space has been waiting for yours specifically. You find a pin in the small dish on the shelf, and carefully, reverently, you attach your message to the wall. It looks right there, like it belongs, like it's always belonged. You step back and look at the whole wall again, all these messages, all these releases, all these humans reaching across time and space to say, I was struggling. I found help. I'm leaving evidence of my journey so you know you're not alone in yours. The wall is beautiful. Not in a decorative way, but in the way that truth is beautiful, that vulnerability is beautiful, that courage is beautiful. Each message is a small act of bravery. Each one is someone choosing to name their burden and set it down rather than continuing to carry it in silence and shame. You place your hand flat against the wall, feeling the texture of all that paper, all those words, all that accumulated release and healing and transformation. The wall is warm under your palm, not from the candles or the body heat of visitors, but from something else. From the collective energy of care, of witness, of mutual recognition that we're all just trying to make it through, and sometimes we need help, and that's okay, and that's human, and that's beautiful. Thank you, you whisper to the wall, to all the people whose words cover it, to everyone who's had the courage to write and pin and leave behind what they no longer need to carry. The wall doesn't answer in words. But you feel something, a warmth, an embrace, an acknowledgement. You're welcome. Your words matter. Your journey matters. You're part of us now. You leave the alcove and find the herbalist waiting near the counter, as if they knew you'd emerge soon, as if they've been holding space for your return. They gesture to a small tray on the counter. On it, a cup. Different from the first two. This one is rough clay, and glazed, simple and humble. The tea inside is clear, like water, but steam rises from it, so you know it's hot. Third cup, the herbalist says. For the journey home. This one you don't drink here. You take it with you. They hand you the cup carefully, making sure you have a good grip before releasing it. The cup is warm, and surprisingly, it doesn't feel fragile. It feels sturdy, dependable, like something that could survive a journey. This tea is different from the others, the herbalist continues. The first welcomed you in. The second helped you release. This one protects what you found here. It keeps the peace you've discovered intact as you return to the world outside. Drink it slowly as you walk. Let it be a bridge between here and there. You look down at the cup. The tea inside is so clear it's almost invisible, but the steam rising from it smells wonderful. Like mint and clarity and fresh starts, like morning even though it's night, like hope even though hope shouldn't have a smell. The cup is yours to keep, the herbalist adds. Bring it back next time you visit, and I'll fill it again. Or use it at home for your own tea, your own rituals of peace. Either way, let it remind you that rest is portable. Peace is something you can carry with you, not something that only exists in special places. You hold the cup in both hands, feeling its weight, its warmth, its rough texture. It's not beautiful in a conventional way, but it's perfect. Functional. Honest. Real. I don't know how to thank you enough, you say, looking up at the herbalist. For the tea. For the space. For seeing what I needed before I knew I needed it. The herbalist smiles that gentle smile, the one that crinkles the corners of their eyes, the one that makes you feel seen and accepted and loved without conditions. You thank me by taking what you've learned here back into your life, they say. By remembering, when things get hard, that peace is possible. That rest is allowed. That you don't have to carry everything alone. And by coming back when you need to. That's all the thanks I need. The herbalist reaches out and places one hand briefly on your shoulder, a gesture of blessing, of farewell, of connection. Their hand is warm and steady, and in that brief touch, you feel everything they couldn't say in words. I see you. I honor you. I'm glad you came. Go in peace. Then they step back, bow once more, and return to their work at the counter, already preparing tea for the next person who needs it, already tending to the endless gentle work of caring for others. You turn toward the door, the cup warm in your hands, the bag of tea hanging from your wrist. The elderly woman by the stove has her eyes open now and catches your gaze. She nods, just once, just a small acknowledgement, and you nod back. A recognition between two people who've both found something precious here, who both understand what a gift it is. The couple on the floor cushions are leaning against each other now, their tea finished, their releases complete. They're not sleeping but resting in that space beyond sleep, that place where healing happens in the quiet. They don't notice you leaving, and that's okay. They're having their own experience, their own journey. Everyone's time at the Moonlit Teahouse is unique, personal, sacred. You reach the door. Your free hand finds the handle, that same bronze warmth you felt when you arrived, though it seems like ages ago now, though it's probably only been a few hours. You look back once more at the teahouse interior, taking it all in, committing it to memory. The golden candlelight, the hanging herbs, the shelves of jars, the herbalist at their counter, patient and steady as a mountain, the warm wood and soft cushions and sacred silence. The door opens easily, swinging outward, and immediately the outside world returns, the sound of wind through bamboo, the whisper of the stream, the night air cool on your face. But it doesn't feel like a harsh transition. Not like leaving a sanctuary and being thrust back into chaos. More like an expansion. Like the peace you found inside is now moving outside with you, surrounding you, protecting you, coming along for the journey. You step over the threshold, onto the stepping stones, beginning your path back to the bridge, back to the world beyond the bamboo grove. The night greets you gently. The moon is even higher now, past its zenith, beginning its slow descent toward the western horizon. But it's still bright, still full, still illuminating everything with that silver-white light that makes the ordinary world look magical. You walk slowly, carefully, holding your cup of tea steady. The path is the same one you walked to arrive, but it looks different now. You see details you missed before, the way moss grows on the north side of certain stones, the pattern of ripples in the stream, the precise curve of the bamboo stalks as they bend in the breeze. You pause on the bridge, midway across, and lift the cup to your lips. The first sip of the third tea. Oh, it tastes like clarity itself. Like the moment when fog lifts and you can suddenly see for miles. Like the first breath after holding your breath for too long. Like understanding arriving after confusion. Like peace, but not the quiet, still peace of the tea house. More like active peace, engaged peace, the peace that can survive in movement and noise and daily life. You take another sip, feeling it work through your system, feeling it create a kind of protective layer, a buffer, a gentle shield that will help you maintain what you found here even as you return to the demands of ordinary existence. You continue walking, sipping between steps, letting the tea pace your journey, ensuring you don't rush, don't lose what you've gained by hurrying back into the world's speed. The bamboo grove surrounds you, and you realize you're not afraid of the darkness here. The shadows between the stalks are deep, but they're not threatening. They're just parts of the landscape, necessary contrasts to the moonlight, essential elements of the whole. A breeze moves through, and the bamboo sings its wooden song, and you stop walking for a moment just to listen. Really listen. The way you listen to the silence in the tea house. The way you watch the steam from your tea. The same quality of attention, now directed outward, toward the world. And you hear so much. The rustling leaves, yes, but also the stream's constant murmur, telling its story of flowing, of persistence, of always moving forward. An owl somewhere, calling to another owl, their conversation ancient and ongoing. Your own breathing, steady and deep, so different from the shallow breaths you were taking when you arrived. Your heartbeat, slow and strong, pumping blood and life and this tea medicine through your body. You're alive. Completely, vibrantly, peacefully alive. And for this moment, at least, you remember that this being alive, this experiencing the world, this being present, this is enough. This is everything. This is what you're here for. Another sip of tea. Another few steps forward. The path leading you on, leading you back, leading you toward whatever comes next. You emerge from the bamboo grove onto the wider path that will take you back toward the city, toward your life, toward your home. But you're not the same person who walked this path hours ago. You're lighter, clearer, more yourself somehow, like you shed layers of false weight and found the real you underneath. The you that knows how to rest, that doesn't need to earn peace, that can release what doesn't serve and keep what does. The tea is half gone now. You're sipping it slowly, making it last, letting it accompany you as far as it can. The cup in your hands is a physical connection to the tea house, a reminder that what you experienced there was real, that the peace you felt is accessible, that you can return, both to the actual place and to the internal state it helped you discover. In the distance, you begin to see city lights. Not harsh yet, not overwhelming, just there. The world you left, waiting patiently for your return. Not angry that you left. Not demanding anything. Just existing, just continuing, just being itself. And you realize, the world isn't the enemy. The noise and demands and challenges aren't inherently bad. They're just life. And you can move through them differently now. With more awareness. With more intention. With the memory of the Moonlit Teahouse living inside you, reminding you that peace is always possible, always accessible, always just a breath away if you remember how to find it. You take another sip of tea. It's cooler now, but still good, still working its protective magic. You can feel it settling into your cells, into your muscles, into your very bones, creating a kind of cellular memory of peace that your body can return to even when your mind forgets. The path begins to change under your feet, from smooth river stones to packed earth to, eventually, pavement. The transition is gradual, gentle, giving you time to adjust. You finish the last of your tea, tipping the cup back to catch every final drop, grateful for what it's given you, grateful for the journey it's accompanied you on. The cup is empty now, but you hold on to it carefully, protectively. It's precious, not because it's expensive or rare, but because it's yours, because it was given with care, because it holds meaning beyond its material substance. You look at it in the moonlight, that rough clay, simple and honest. It fits perfectly in your hands, like it was made for you specifically, like it knew you were coming. You'll wash it when you get home. You'll find a special place for it in your kitchen, somewhere you'll see it daily, somewhere it can remind you of tonight, of the tea house, of what you learned about release and rest and your own worthiness of peace. And the bag of tea hanging from your wrist, you'll use that sparingly, ceremonially, on nights when you need to remember, when the world gets too loud, when you forget how to let go. You'll brew it in this cup, and you'll sit quietly, and you'll watch the steam, and you'll practice what the Moonlit Teahouse taught you. The city sounds are getting closer now. Traffic in the distance, voices, the hum of electricity and activity and human life happening at its usual pace. But it doesn't assault you the way it might have before. You have your buffer now. Your protection. Your inner peace that the third tea has helped seal in place. You pause at the edge where the path meets the street, the boundary between the sanctuary you've left and the world you're returning to. You close your eyes and take one final deep breath, in through your nose, filling your lungs completely, holding for a moment at the top. Then out through your mouth, slow and controlled, releasing any last bits of tension, any worry about what comes next. When you open your eyes, you're ready. Ready to return. Ready to carry this peace with you. Ready to practice what you've learned. Ready to remember that the Moonlit Teahouse exists, that you can return whenever you need to, that rest and release are always available if you're willing to seek them. You step forward, onto the pavement, back into the world of schedules and responsibilities and all the ordinary magic of daily life. But you're not the same. You've been transformed, not into someone else, but more fully into yourself. The you that exists beneath the anxiety and the striving and the constant doing. The you that knows how to be still, how to receive, how to let go. Your footsteps on pavement sound different than they did before, more grounded, more sure, more present. Each step is a choice to remain in your body, in this moment, in this peace you've found. The city opens up around you, buildings and lights and people and noise. But it's okay. You're okay. You're carrying something now that can't be taken from you unless you choose to give it away. Peace, rest, permission, release. And the knowledge that if you lose these things, when you lose them, because that's human, that's normal, you know where to find them again. The Moonlit Teahouse. Always there, always open, always ready to welcome you home to yourself. The music swells gently one last time, warm and encompassing, like a final embrace, like a blessing, like the feeling of being held and then released with love, with trust, with the certainty that you're ready for what comes next. The soft music continues, now with a gentle shift towards something that feels like both ending and beginning, like a door closing and a door opening simultaneously, like the last page of one chapter and the first page of the next. You walk through the city streets with your empty cup cradled in one hand, the bag of tea still hanging from your wrist, and you notice something remarkable. The city hasn't changed. but your relationship to it has. The traffic lights still change from red to green to yellow. Cars still pass, their headlights cutting through the darkness. People still walk by, some hurried, some leisurely, each on their own journey, carrying their own invisible burdens. But where before this might have felt overwhelming, too much noise, too much movement, too much demand on your attention, now it feels manageable, observable, almost interesting, the way an anthropologist might find interest in studying a culture, the way a naturalist might watch birds without needing to control their flight. You pass a late-night cafe, its windows glowing warm, people inside drinking coffee and talking, laughing, being alive in their own way. Before tonight, you might have compared yourself to them, wondered if you should be more social, more energetic, more something. But now you just notice them, wish them well silently, and continue walking. You come to a small park, really just a pocket of green in the midst of concrete and steel, with a few benches and a single tree, its branches reaching upward toward the sky. Something draws you to pause here, to sit, to take a moment before completing your journey home. You settle onto one of the benches, the wood cool beneath you, the cup still warm in your hands even though it's been empty for blocks now. It seems to retain heat in a way that defies physics, as if the tea house's warmth is still present in the clay, as if it's designed to be a portable reminder of what you found there. Above you, the moon continues its journey. Lower now, moving toward the horizon, but still bright, still full, still casting its silver light over everything. The same moon that shone through the window of the tea house. The same moon that witnessed your releases, your naming, your transformation. You look at it and remember what the herbalist said, the moon bears witness. It does. It sees everything, all the humans below, struggling and striving and occasionally remembering how to rest. It sees the Moonlit Teahouse and all the other sanctuaries scattered throughout the world, the places where people can go to remember their own softness, their own worthiness of peace. It sees you, sitting on this bench, carrying your small treasures, forever changed by a few cups of tea and the wisdom of an herbalist who knows how to see what people need. A breeze moves through the park, rustling the leaves of the tree above you. You close your eyes and just feel it, cool air on your face, moving your hair slightly, reminding you that you're alive, you're here, you're present. When you open your eyes, you notice someone else entering the park. An older man, walking slowly with a cane, his pace measured and careful. He sees you on the bench and nods, that small acknowledgement that strangers sometimes give each other in quiet moments, that recognition of shared humanity. You nod back. He settles onto a bench across the path from you, sets his cane beside him, and simply sits, looking up at the moon, breathing the night air, existing peacefully in this small pocket of green. You wonder if he's been to the Moonlit Teahouse, or someplace like it, or if he's learned through his own life, through his own years of experience, how to find peace without needing a special place, without needing tea or rituals or any external support. Just sitting, just being, just remembering that this moment, this breath, this existence, is enough. The two of you sit in companionable silence for a while. Not speaking, not needing to. Just two humans sharing space, sharing night, sharing the same moon overhead. It reminds you of the tea house. How silence there wasn't empty or awkward. How it was full, rich, comfortable. How people could be together without needing to fill the space with words or activity or performance. Maybe that's something you can carry forward. The ability to be comfortable in silence. With yourself. With others. Letting quiet be enough. Letting presence be sufficient. After a while, 5 minutes, 10. Time has remained slippery since leaving the tea house. The older man rises with careful deliberation, retrieves his cane, and prepares to leave. But before he does, he turns to you and speaks. "Beautiful night," he says. His voice is rough but kind, textured by years of use. It is, you agree, really beautiful. He nods, satisfied with this small exchange, this acknowledgement of beauty witnessed and shared. Then he begins to walk away, his cane tapping softly on the pavement, a rhythmic sound that fades gradually into the distance. You sit a moment longer, feeling the echo of that interaction. So simple, so brief, but somehow meaningful. A reminder that connection doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's just two people agreeing that the night is beautiful, that the moon is bright, that the world, for all its challenges, still offers moments worth noticing. You stand, stretching slightly, feeling your body, that body that walked to the tea house tight and heavy, that sat in the window seat and drank celestial tea, that released burdens and named releases, that walked back changed. Your legs are steady beneath you. Your breath is easy. Your heart is open. Time to go home. You leave the park, the cup still cradled in your hand, the bag of tea hanging from your wrist, your footsteps steady and sure, carrying you forward through the city night. The streets grow more familiar now. These are your streets, your neighborhood, the routes you walk daily without thinking. But tonight, you see them differently. You notice things you usually miss, the way lamplight catches in puddles from an earlier rain you didn't know had fallen. The sound of a cat somewhere, calling into the night. A window above a shop with a plant on the sill, someone caring for something green even in the midst of concrete and commerce. Small beauties. Small evidences of care. Small reminders that the world is not as harsh as it sometimes seems, that gentleness exists everywhere if you learn how to notice it. This, too, is something the tea house taught you. Not explicitly, not through words, but through example. Through the herbalist's patient tending. Through the careful preparation of each cup. Through the alcove of messages, each one a small act of care left for strangers. Through the whole atmosphere of the place, the attention to detail, the honoring of each visitor's needs, the understanding that small things done with love are not small at all. You can practice this. You can bring this into your daily life. You can tend your own space, your home, your work, your relationships, with the same quality of attention. Not perfectly, not always, but when you remember, when you're not too tired or too overwhelmed. And when you forget, you can forgive yourself and begin again, because that's what practice is, beginning again and again, with patience, with kindness toward yourself. You reach your building, the familiar door. The familiar steps leading up. Your keys are in your pocket, and you retrieve them with your free hand, unlocking the door, stepping into the lobby or hallway or whatever space leads to your home. It's quiet here. Most of your neighbors are asleep, or if awake, they're quiet about it. Respectful of the late hour. Respectful of others' rest. You climb the stairs or walk down the hall to your door, and as you do, you realize you're not dreading entering. Not feeling that weight that sometimes comes with returning home after being out, the confrontation with dishes that need washing or laundry that needs folding or the evidence of your life left mid-action. Tonight, you're just neutral, present, accepting of whatever you find, knowing that it's all manageable, all temporary, all part of the ongoing flow of living. You step inside. Home. Your space. However large or small, however organized or chaotic, however perfect or imperfect, it's yours. And tonight, it feels different. Not because it's changed, but because you have. You're bringing something new into this space. The peace you found, the releases you made, the permission you gave yourself to rest and be gentle and let go. You close the door behind you softly, lock it with a quiet click. The outside world is outside now. You're in your sanctuary, your private space, the place where you can fully, completely be yourself. You move through your home slowly, not turning on bright lights, just letting moonlight through windows and perhaps a small lamp guide you. To the kitchen. This is where the cup belongs, your new cup, your tea house cup, your vessel of peace and memory. You wash it carefully in cool water, no soap, just letting water run over the rough clay, rinsing away the last traces of tea while being careful not to wash away the meaning, the memory, the medicine it carries. You dry it with a soft cloth, feeling its texture, appreciating its simplicity, its honest usefulness. Then you find the perfect spot for it. Not hidden in a cupboard where you might forget it, but visible. On a shelf where you'll see it every morning. Or on the counter, near where you make your own daily tea or coffee. Somewhere it can remind you, every single day, of what you learned at the Moonlit Teahouse. Of what's possible. Of who you are when you allow yourself to rest. The cup sits there, empty but full of meaning, ordinary but precious, rough clay transformed into treasure by what it represents, what it's witnessed, what it's helped you remember. The bag of tea, you hang it near the cup, or perhaps in a small basket where you keep special things, things that matter, things that carry stories. You open the drawstring just slightly and smell it once more. That complex, beautiful scent, jasmine and chamomile and mint and moon. The smell of the tea house captured in herbs, portable magic, comfort you can carry. You'll use it soon. Maybe tomorrow night, when the day's demands have accumulated and you need to remember. Maybe next week, when you feel yourself tensing again, forgetting, slipping back into old patterns. Whenever you need it, it will be here, waiting. And when it's gone, when you've brewed the last of these herbs, you can return to the Moonlit Teahouse. The herbalist said so. The door is always open. There's always a cup waiting. This thought brings comfort. The tea house isn't a one-time miracle, accessible only through luck or chance. It's there, steady, consistent. A resource you can return to again and again, as many times as you need, for the rest of your life. You move through your home, preparing for sleep, changing clothes, brushing teeth. All the ordinary rituals of ending a day. But tonight, they feel different. Less automatic. More conscious. Like even these mundane acts can be done with presence, with care, with the quality of attention you learn tonight. You catch your reflection in a mirror and pause, really looking at yourself. Your face looks softer. The tension that usually lives around your eyes, your jaw, your forehead, it's lessened. Not gone completely, but definitely reduced. You look more like yourself. More like who you are underneath the stress and worry and constant doing. You smile at your reflection. A genuine smile, not forced or performative. A smile of recognition, of gratitude, of self-affection. You went to the tea house. You tell your reflection softly. You let yourself be helped. You released what needed releasing. You're doing okay. You're doing better than okay. Your reflection smiles back, confirming it's true. This, too, is something new. Or maybe not new, but remembered. The ability to speak kindly to yourself. To offer yourself the same compassion you'd offer a friend. To recognize your own courage, because it did take courage, didn't it? To step off the familiar path, to follow your intuition to the tea house, to accept help, to be vulnerable enough to release, to speak your burdens aloud in front of strangers. You place one hand over your heart, feeling it beat beneath your palm. Steady. Strong. Alive. Thank you, you whisper. To your body for carrying you through the day and to the tea house and back. To your heart for remaining open. To yourself for being willing to seek peace, to receive it, to carry it home. Your hand drops. The moment passes, but its effect remains. You move to your bed, however it's configured, wherever it is in your space. Fresh sheets or yesterday's sheets, it doesn't matter. It's your bed. Your place of rest. Your nightly surrender. You slide beneath the covers, feeling their weight settle over you, their coolness warming quickly to your body temperature. Outside your window, if you have one that faces the right direction, you can see the moon. Lower now, approaching the horizon, but still visible, still present, still witnessing. You think about the herbalist, probably still at the tea house counter, preparing tea for whoever needs it, tending to the endless gentle work of caring for souls who arrive heavy and leave lighter. You think about the elderly woman by the stove, who released her fear of being forgotten and is now remembered by you, honored by you, carried in your heart. You think about the young couple, learning together how to be both independent and connected, how to give each other space while remaining close. You think about the wall of messages in the alcove, your words now among them, your release now part of the collective offering. You think about the moon tea you drank, the celestial herbs that showed you what you were carrying and helped you set it down. The steam that moved in patterns, teaching you that release is possible, that burdens don't have to be permanent, that you can choose, over and over, to let go. All of it happened. All of it was real. Not a dream, not imagination, but a genuine experience of peace, of care, of transformation. Your eyes grow heavy. That good, natural tiredness that comes from a full day, a meaningful evening, a journey completed. But before you let sleep claim you, you set an intention, a promise to yourself. You will remember this. You will practice what you learned. You will be gentle with yourself when you forget, because you will forget. That's human, that's normal, that's part of the journey. But you'll also remember again. You'll return to your breath. You'll notice when you're clenching. You'll give yourself permission to rest. You'll make the tea when you need it. You'll hold the cup and remember. You'll return to the Moonlit Teahouse when necessary. You will carry this piece forward, not as a burden, not another thing you have to do or maintain, but as a resource, as a tool, as a treasure freely given that you can access whenever you choose to. Your breathing is slowing now, deepening, your body preparing for sleep, for the restoration that happens in darkness, for the dreams that process and integrate and heal. One more breath, deep and full. In through your nose, filling your lungs completely, feeling your ribs expand, your belly rise. Holding for just a moment at the top, this moment, this present, this now. Then out through your mouth, slow and controlled, releasing the day, releasing any remaining tension, releasing yourself into rest. Sleep is coming now. You can feel it approaching like a gentle tide, and you don't resist it. You welcome it. Your last conscious thoughts are of gratitude. For the tea house. For the herbalist. For the moon. For the tea. For your own courage in seeking help. For the relief of release. For the permission to rest. For the reminder that peace is possible, always, if you remember how to find it. The room grows softer around you. The edges blur. The world recedes. And then, gently, gradually, naturally, you let go. You slip beneath the surface of waking into the deeper currents of sleep. Your breathing is slow and regular now. Deep and peaceful. The breathing of someone at rest. Someone at peace. Someone who has released what needed releasing and is now free to simply be. The moon continues its journey outside your window, lower and lower, approaching the horizon. Soon it will set, and the sun will rise, and a new day will begin. But that's tomorrow's concern, not tonight's. Tonight, you rest. Deeply, completely. Held by your bed, by your home, by the peace you brought back from the Moonlit Teahouse. In these final minutes, there is only the softest ambient sound, gentle breathing, the distant whisper of wind, the barely perceptible hum of the world continuing its patient turn through space. You are asleep now. Fully, deeply, peacefully asleep. But somewhere inside you, a part remains aware. A part that knows what happened tonight, that holds the memory of the tea house, that carries the lessons of release and rest and permission. This part of you whispers as you sleep, you are safe. You are held. You have learned something valuable tonight. You can return to it whenever you need. Peace is not far away. It lives in you now. It's always accessible. Just breathe. Just remember. Just allow yourself to rest. And your sleeping self hears this and settles even deeper into peace. Outside, the moon touches the horizon. A few stars begin to fade as the sky thinks about lightening toward dawn. But that's hours away still. Hours of rest remaining. Hours of healing sleep. Hours of dreams that will help integrate what you've learned, that will weave tonight's experiences into the fabric of who you are, who you're becoming. The tea house cup sits in your kitchen, patient and present, waiting for the morning when you'll see it and remember. The bag of herbs hangs nearby, its contents holding the memory of the herbalist's care, ready to offer comfort when called upon. Your message remains in the alcove at the tea house, pinned to the wall with all the others, part of the ongoing conversation, proof that you were there, that you released, that you're part of something larger. And the Moonlit Teahouse itself continues its work through the night. The herbalist still at their counter, preparing tea for whoever arrives next. The candles still burning steadily. The herbs still hanging from the ceiling, releasing their gentle medicine into the air. The space still holding whoever needs holding, offering rest to whoever seeks it, reminding every visitor that peace is possible, that release is allowed, that they are worthy of care and gentleness and time to simply be. The tea house will be there tomorrow. And the next day. And the next. Always there. always open, always offering the same gifts: presence, peace, permission, release. Waiting for you to return whenever you need to. Knowing you will return, because once you've found a place like this, once you've experienced what's possible there, you can never fully forget it. It becomes part of you, part of your map of the world, part of your resources for staying human in a world that often forgets how to be gentle. Sleep well, dear traveler. You found your way to the tea house. You drank the tea. You released what needed releasing. You brought peace home with you. And tomorrow, whenever tomorrow comes for you, you'll wake different. Lighter, softer, more yourself. Carrying the memory of steam and moonlight and celestial herbs. Carrying the herbalist's gentle wisdom. Carrying the knowledge that rest is your birthright, that peace is always possible, that you are worthy of care. The Moonlit Teahouse will be waiting. The door is always open. There's always a cup ready. Rest now. Dream peacefully. Be held by sleep and moonlight and the lingering warmth of tea drunk with presence and care. May you always find your way back to peace. May you always remember that rest is allowed. May the tea house live in your heart, ready to welcome you home to yourself, whenever you need it most.